Uh, a prayer by the OJs. All right. You don't know nothing about that. All that old hip hop. What's these dudes' name y'all riding around listening to? Or Kelly and them. Y'all know that stuff there. You don't know nothing about them. About them older people that meant that. When they said it, they meant it. You know what I'm saying? When they expressed themselves, they meant it. These dudes riding around here now, they don't mean it. They changing their mind. They changing their mind. All right, nephew. So, most time, press bless everybody. All right. Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
All praises unto the Most High Israel for giving us His Spirit to come here, fellowship, keep His commandments, learn what His will is. And like always, it's going to go down up in here today. You can believe that. We're going to learn today. But before we get started, somebody had an announcement. All right.
I just wanted to tell everybody that after class we're going to be revealing agenda. So yeah, just sit tight until after class.
What about them downstairs? They didn't hear you. Right here. I can hear you.
Hey, so later on tonight when class is over, we gonna announce the gender of our baby. So if y'all can just sit tight after class, that'll be good.
Oh. Where's the volume? You make it? Make it higher? Mm. All right. Why do you finna go outside? Okay, guys, we're gonna jump right in. I could listen all day. I love music, man. All right, you guys ain't heard for the DJing. You heard for the word. and third cousin. All right. So I want to bring back some edification on something that was said in Thursday's class. It was brought to my attention that a certain set of words were saying. So we're going to go to Sirach chapter 36. Sirach 36, and I'm going to start at verse 21. And the word, nobody heard from Abanya? Sick? Got a problem. So probably turn it off. I'm not going to get the issue. So everybody listen close up so I can kind of clear the smoke. In Thursday's class, sisters were addressed, and it was a form of exhortation for them to, hold a level of integrity. And the level of integrity was for them to be the opposite of this. So hold this and go back to 25. This is where it started at. 25 and 23. So if I'm not mistaken, I was talking to sisters that young and you're gonna be married someday and what to expect, what's gonna be expected of you. And older sisters gonna get married too. Nobody wants to finish their days alone. So then I went into how I observed my in-laws, needing one another, and they on two different sides of town, needing each other, and that's very painful for me to see them go through that. And I gave word to them and my wife and myself that I would never leave her and allow her to go through anything or some type of sufferings, alone without me. Because I see that many of us, even including myself, we come from single parent homes, and a single parent home is broke. Whenever you believe it or not, it's broke. And on the outside, they have to have the appearance of being strong and the strength, and they find it. Life gives it to them, but it's a burden to carry. It's a burden. It's a cross to carry. To come up in this world, and you have to defend, make it all by yourself. Everything that you do, you got to do it by yourself. A woman, she's got to be the woman, and she's got to do manly things and be manly responsibilities. That's really, really tough on an individual. And so I encourage that everybody that's in a marriage, those of you that are not, your day is coming and you should prepare. But those that are, you you are not to destroy the situation that you in with your hands. Trust and believe, you can exert your energy. This is how I visualize it. You ever seen somebody in a car and they get so frustrated, they get so mad, they just start hitting the car, hitting the steering wheel and all kind of stuff, right? Well, a lot of times people, they do that in life. They exact that type of energy to other people with bad and poor behavior. But what you don't know is that you're destroying the relationship and you're destroying the future with that person to where someday you actually gonna be by your damn self. And you don't know what that feels like because you ain't never lived that day yet. But many of our parents, they have lived that. And I can tell you that they don't like that. They don't like the pain, the suffering, the lack of companionship, the lack of being genuine, someone being genuine. They don't like that. Yeah, friends come and go, lovers come and go, but someone to care about the skin on your back, care about the temperature of your flesh, care about you in spirit and sincerity, that's rare. For someone to be concerned about you in happiness and sickness and all the other things that life brings, that's rare. And time is life's most precious commodity. Not money, not car, not house, not your job, time. So if you spend your time destroying the relationship that you got with somebody else, you're destroying yourself. And you're going to pay for it in the future, even though it has not come yet. Be mindful. Let me bring it on back down. Be mindful. Because it's there for everybody that reaches out for it. Our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents, they have all experienced it. And it ain't no joke. It don't have to be like that. It don't have to be like that. And so Thursday was an exhortation to people to get it right so that you don't have to experience the broken home situation that's out there because of our mental lack of ability to apply. So Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 and verse 23 is where I started. It says, a woman that will not comfort her husband in distress. Sisters, I'm gonna have to delete some of these people. Sisters, you have got to learn how to be a comfort and not be a pain in the butt. Every time you open your mouth, it's nagging, it's complaining, it's sorrow, it's grievous, it's vexing, it's destructive, it's tearing it down brick by brick. You are not to be like that. I've learned that if you don't have anything positive to say, say nothing. Say nothing at all. Keep your peace until you got something good to say. Sometimes you let it slip by. That's still bad. You can hold the line and hold integrity for a moment, and then you let something fall out. You still did bad. You still. Let me show you what it looks like. You got gasoline all around you. You got flammable items all around you. And in your mind, you're like, nah, I can't strike this. I can't strike. You're doing good as long as you don't strike this. But in the third hour, one flicker blows you up. And now you got third-degree burns all over your body. You survived the blast. But your skin has melted off your flesh. You will never look the same again. What you going to deal with? Are you going to deal with and process the rest of your life how you have destroyed your body? Or are you going to deal and think about the 3 hours that you contemplated mentally? That you contemplated mentally and you didn't strike that match. You're going to be thinking about the time that you didn't do it. You're going to be thinking about the life moving forward that you've destroyed yourself. I use that analogy to say some people give themselves credit and a pat over the back because they endure for a minute. But as soon as you open that mouth and you did it after you have fought for a while, you still lost. I told us on Thursday, being in the truth and following this, you got to be a beast. You have got to be the best. You got to be good. And the only way that you're going to be good is you got to learn from your mistakes. Learn, I made a mistake doing this before. I ain't going to do it again. I learned mistakes doing this. I ain't going to do it again. Hey, I blew myself up. Now let's diminish the casualty of the flammable materials and this, that, and the third. I got burned. It's a small burn. It's a burn that hurt, blistered and everything. Well, you say I ain't gonna do that no more because I don't want to get burned. This burn hurt. This blister busted up. It broke. It sting. I ain't gonna do that no more. So you learn from life not to play with flammable materials, not to play with this, that, and the third. Why is it? Same thing. When you are in a relationship, when you are in a marriage, when you have a man, you have got to learn what ignites a fire. We went over that in Timothy about fleeing youthful lust, avoiding foolish questions, avoid unlearned questions. You just cannot live because you are a woman thinking that I'm going to empower myself that I can do what I want to do. I can say what I want to say. Well, how's that relationship? How is that marriage? When you done, mammy, how is it? It's toe up from the floor up. No good. And who made it like that? You're pointing the finger at him while excusing your own mouth, your own actions, your own attitude, your own energy, your own behavior. Excusing that. All you see is he didn't respond to me like I wanted him to respond. A lot of sisters try to manipulate, move, and authoritize a man. That's not, that marriage is not built in Christ like that. You are not the authority figure in a marriage as a woman. You are not. Is a child the authority figure in the relationship between you and your children? Now your children run the house. Now your children run you. If that's so, you are oppressed. And if a woman is the authority figure in a marriage, brother, you are oppressed. You are oppressed. And deep down inside, you know that it's not right, the same way that a woman who's scared of her child, knowing that it's not right and I'm oppressed. The objective was to exhort you. A woman, so we in Sarah, I'm gonna bring it on. Woman, Ecclesiasticus 25 and 23. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress, make it weak hands and feeble knees. So you're supposed to, when times are stressful, when times seem not to be working out for this guy or for you too, not just him. You cannot just be a good woman and a good wife when he's got stress at the job, his car broken down, he's paid all his money into his gone. Now you easygoing and soft-spoken. No, you have got to be able to relieve that stress when things ain't right between you and him. Why don't you be the one to be defrauded and say, okay, babe, I tell you what, listen, I do apologize. This is not how I wanted to be. And claim your stuff. I said this and I was wrong for that. I said that and that wasn't right. I apologize. Because things like that will make a man stressed. Catch yourself. If you catch yourself and you make things right, you are applying the scriptures in reverse of comforting the man in stress. And now instead of weak hands, what does weak hands represent? I don't know what to do with you, baby. I'm out of all options, baby. Everything that I've possibly thought of, baby, I have tried, and nothing is working. The guy's energy and effort to resolve issues with you, baby, is done. He's all out of conclusions. He's at the end of the rope of the line. He's perplexed, baby, because you ain't stopping. There's a lot of sisters that don't stop. Now the guy's energy is weak and feeble knees. If your knees hurt, how you gonna walk? So now that goes into the man. Now that goes into the man being challenged with what? Walking with you, baby. He's questioning, can we walk together, baby? The Bible says, can two walk together except they agree? Y'all don't agree. So you're not the only one that wants out. He wants out too. And sometimes through weakness and the help of Satan, sometimes that'll fall out your mouth. Yes, it'll fall out your mouth, which is not supposed to. It's not supposed to. You're not supposed to let it get to that far. Words are life. And if you're not careful, you'll bring those words into existence. Yes, this is a Bible study. So, from there, now go to Sirach 36. And I want to straighten out any misconception of what was being said. Somebody on TikTok from the General Assembly, well, I don't share some of this information. You guys on the share this page. This is the General Assembly, an Israelite congregation that teaches repentance, baptism for remission of sins, and we keep and teach the laws, statutes, and commandments of God the Most High. All right. That's right. You love sin, it don't matter. That's right. All right. Glory to the Father. That's right. All praises. He'll do it every time. So, on Thursday, it was exhortation. And Sirach 25, guess what? If you have done that, if you have sinned, sin no more. Everybody has sinned. I get that. The Most High gets that. At this point, sin no more. All right? Because you don't want worse things to happen unto you. What is the worst thing to happen? The decline, let's just say in a relationship. Let's just start there. You can save this. That's right. You can save your marriage. You can save your relationship. You can save your friendship. Yes, you can. By changing your mind and doing differently. So let's get to it. So Ecclesiasticus 36 and verse 21, a woman will receive every man, yet is one daughter better than another. So in other words, every woman, there's a woman, let's just say there's somebody for everybody. We all hear that. You've heard that. Oh, there's somebody for everybody, right? You heard that? That's right. Regardless of how tall they are, how short they are, how thin they are, how full-figured they are. There's somebody for everybody. Okay? But even with that, yet is one daughter better than another. Now the exhortation is beginning. Because what is this saying that one daughter is better than another? What this means is there are some people that are better than others. Daughter is a woman. There are some women better than others. All women are not the same. Where you got a brawler, you got a woman that will not comfort her husband. All women are not like that. All women are not like that. Some are better than others. The beauty of a woman cureth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better. So this beauty is not your physical appearance. This was stated on Thursday. It's not your physical appearance, even though men like a beautiful physical appearance. That's not the beauty that we should be uh, searching for. Go to 1 Peter chapter 3. All right, so 1 Peter chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 1. So this is the beauty of the woman. Likewise, wives, be in subjection unto your own husbands. The first thing that's beautiful is what? Subjection. A woman in subjection. What does that look like? It looks like when a man asks something of his woman, she does it. She does it without backbiting, without creating a disturbance, without rejecting it, without refusing it, without rearranging it. She does it. Okay, she does it. That's what subjection looks like. She's going to do it. She's doing it. That if any obey not the word, any is anybody. These are people that will see her. Pay attention. They also may without the word be won. So they don't have the scriptures. They not learning the scriptures. And they don't have to be opening up the scriptures to see how a woman should be in behavior. Your wife is in the midst of other people. You request something from your wife. She does it or she don't do it. Which one shows submission to the people that's not in the scriptures? The fact that she does it. And the spirit that she does it in shows the example of the faith that she's in. Who don't understand that? If you're a woman and you don't understand that, please raise your hand. Be honest. If you don't understand, I would rather explain it to you so that you can understand. No hands. What about anybody online? Do you guys all understand that? You're around for some apparent reason. Let's see, what is this? You're around for some apparent reason. People that's not in the faith. And now your husband is asking something of you. He's asking you to complete a chore. He's asking you to give an account. He's asking you to come. He's asking you not to do something. And you are in complete compliance with a respectful and tasteful spirit and disposition about the situation. You know what you just did? You just taught them how to do what? Obey their own husbands. They won by the relationship that you have with your husband. That's the beauty of a woman right there. That's what that is, guys. They also may be won by the conversation of the wives. If they ask you why you do it, you should already know why you do it. You're supposed to do it. You're commanded to do it. You like doing it. It makes peace. It brings peace. You respect your husband. He respects you. So it's not just a one-way street. Both you guys supposed to be in love. Both you supposed to respect each other. You care for him. You like him. He likes you. You see? While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear. What is to be chaste? What is to be chaste? Serious. Respectful. Coupled with fear. You already know that if you do the opposite, things are not right. A conversation gonna break out. Something is gonna be said to you. Are you the type of person that don't care that something is said to you about your actions and behavior? That's shameless right there. The Bible says a shameless woman should be counted as a dog. What is a dog? A female beast or something. But as the daughter of the Most High, you're not supposed to be like that. Shameless. You don't care. You're supposed to have a serious, you're supposed to have a chaste disposition. Let's get some bywords. Bear with me. Chase. It says, abstaining from extramarital and from all sexual intercourse. Let's see. There's another other definition. It says, without unnecessary, simple, or restraint. Similar words, plain, simple, bare. So, oftentimes, let's incorporate this into the chasteness. Oftentimes, when a woman when she has to be in subjection to her husband, she uses the opposite of being chaste as an explanation on why she's not in submission. And what I mean by that is maybe the appearance of whoredoms. That's what I'm, that's what I'm saying. Maybe the appearance of whoredoms. Like if you see a group of women and they out, and maybe they at a happy hour, they're out to eat, and the woman is calling, and the man and the husband is calling, instead of just being like the scriptures is saying, with respect coupled with fear, this sister will be all over the place. She'll have the appearance that maybe she plays the field, and ain't nobody got her wrapped around their finger to where she gonna move how she wants to move when they want her to move, etc., etc. That's not how, if you are Christ, that's not how you're supposed to be. Your chaste conversation is that there's nobody outside of your marital situation. You're responsible and accountable. You hold this guy to the utmost level of respect. You owe him that, because that happy hour is only from 5 to 7. You got to go home with this guy for the night and all nights. So trying to be there to impress some sisters, some women, like they outside and you got the right to be outside too, that's foolish on your behalf. That's bent out of shape on your perception and understanding of what's right is completely distorted. You're not supposed to be like that. They're supposed to be able to see that you don't deal outside of that marriage and that you got the utmost respect. That's the couple with fear. You got the utmost respect for this guy. All right? What is it?
I wanted to ask what you were saying.
Okay.
On the definition. Like, just to add, just what I'm saying when it comes to chase, like what the brother's saying, but also, I'm gonna give an example. When you have someone like a married woman, because it says won by the conversation of the wives. So you have a group of women, let's say co-workers. Women talk about They love to talk about who they dealing with, what they doing, where they going, girl this, girl that, popping lips, right? But when they talking to you, they're beholding your chaste conversation in the sense of exactly like what he was bringing out, how your life is built on Christ and your love and respect and reverence to your husband, but also they're giving examples on how the lifestyle that these particular women is leading, how you can be judged by the Most High, and how that's not going to get you nowhere in life. Like how the brother bringing out earlier about, growing old and being alone, because let's say the marriage that you're in or relationship you're in, you turn it down. So the chasteness that's coming from the wife is explaining to these women, these simple women, that if you keep going down the path that you're living, the Most High is not going to give you nothing to fall back on in the present and when you're old. You know what I'm saying? And now they couple with fear because they fear what the woman is saying. Like, if I keep doing this, I can contract a disease, or I can get beat, or or the Lord can have me with a lack of prosperity. The wife is breaking down all the cons that come with living a hot girl summer type of life, as well as giving the respect to her husband and to the Lord on why she don't live the same way or do the same things that the particular woman she's talking to is doing. So the chasteness is going into both parts, like the brother bringing out, and also she's correcting, she's admonishing them and telling them how they're not supposed to be versus how they are supposed to be.
All right. So, verse 3. So they see all this stuff about you. Who's a daughter, let it. Remember, I'm here to prove a point that the countenance or the beauty of this woman, it's not an outward appearance. It's a spiritual thing. Who's adorning? When you adorn something, that means you're like drizzled, you're draped, you're covered with it. It represents these things are on display. It says, who's adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair, okay, and wearing of gold, and a putting on of apparel. So this is a whole Gideon. This is a whole makeup. Sisters spend hundreds of dollars getting their hair done. Then they put the jewelry on. They got all the accessories. Not even mentioning the makeup and the clothes. Now it's time for them to be dripped. Or guys drip and women slay, right? You're the slayer. Now it's time for you to really look super good. And that's fine. But that's not what we as men, that's not what we look for. We can't even control the conversation. And you look good. Where the heck is that? What is this? Right, you look good. Then now our mind, shoot, right? In our mind, well, who you looking good for? Because we can't say start or stop, come or go, sit and not be. There's nothing we can do within this situation. So looking good, does it benefit us? Brothers, does it benefit you if the woman really look good? The hair is done, the gold is jewelry is nice pieces and a combination, and she's pretty and all of that. But if you can't control the situation, ain't you gonna be thinking like, well, you're not looking good for me? And sisters would be like, well, I'm looking good for myself. All right. You're looking good to be seen. To be seen of who? Sisters don't look good to be seen of other sisters. That's not how that bounce. But who am I? Let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible. What does it mean in that which is not corruptible? These things that you put on in verse 3, all of those things can be corruptible. The hairstyle, it gets frizzy and get wore out. The gold gets dull, and the clothes, moth eat them up. And the beauty appearance of the makeup, it gets washed away. But the hidden things that's of the heart, those things that build up and make you the true beauty, those things cannot be corruptible. At least we're not supposed to let them be corruptible or corrupted. It can. And what will corrupt those hidden things? Evil communication. No, this is not for men only. It's a whole lot of women on the other side that you can't see. See all those sisters over there? Where was I? Even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit. So now it's back to being, that's the seriousness right there, not the chase. The meekness is the seriousness and submissiveness. And what is quiet? She's not backbiting. She's not argumentative. She's not debative. She doesn't have a power struggle. You say something, she say something. You say something, she say something. The whole argument is back and forth with words. It lasts for hours, days, weeks, and now it's habitual to where the last thing is meek and ornament. Now you live in a life of loud and clamorous and disrespectful, which is in the sight of God a great price. So what does that mean? The Most High, if you like this, the Most High looks at you as a valuable person. And a man will look at you as a valuable person. For after this manner, meaning all these ways in the old time, because as time evolved, time got wicked. Why? Because of the captivity. Because we let all these nations set the tone and the pace on what we think and thought and feel is good. So now people have begun to pattern themselves after the nations that are around about. And that's not what we're supposed to do, guys. We're supposed to learn from those that the Most High put into our life to lead and guide us in the spirit of Christ. So women in the old time, who trusted in God, they adorned themselves. What did they adorn themselves with? Subjection to their husband. So if I were to ask a question, what did they adorn themselves with? All the brothers, you should know this because you should expect this from your wife. All the sisters, you should know this because this is some of the requirements that it even takes you to be successful in a relationship. Being in subjection, having a chaste conversation coupled with fear, letting it be the hidden person of the heart, and meek and ornament spirit. You should know all these things. If you do these things, this is going to make you successful. If you don't, then you're going to bite and devour one another. You're corrupted with your own understanding and your own ways. You are going to be an enemy to yourself. Okay, so let's lose this and let's go back to Sirach 36. Sirach chapter 36 and now verse 22 again. It says the beauty of a woman cheered the countenance. Yeah, keep going. Okay. Yeah. How do we get this to swing? This thing doesn't swing. That's it. Okay. So now that we understand what that beauty is, that'll make a man happy right there. And a man loving nothing better. Nothing better. Nothing at all better, guys. He don't love a beautiful face over obeying the voice of the Lord. If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, her conversation is supposed to be about this. This was the exhortation on Thursday. Then it's not her husband like other men. What differentiates him and other men? What differentiates him and other men? Let's see. Mike. If he's not like other men, how is he different? He's practicing doing righteous. He's doing the work. Okay. Need something else. Lim.
Because other men, they are not getting that type of response out of their wife. And getting, challenged and, all the other stuff. The worldly stuff.
Right. They're not going through that. You're exactly right. Everybody is not going through hell on earth. Everybody is not burned with the flame. Everybody ain't doing it, man. So, be the type of sister that do not take your husband through that. What's that precept about being burned? He's going to just what I'm talking about. It's 28. So Ecclesiasticus chapter 28. Ecclesiasticus chapter 28 and 14. 28 and 15. I'll start there. A backbiting tongue have cast out virtuous women. Backbiting is speaking negative. It's negative behavior. It's being negative. Nothing fruitful, nothing positive. It's destructive. A backbiting tongue have cast out virtuous women. What does that mean? If the woman is virtual, that means she's strong. What happened to her strength? What is it? It diminished, right? It diminished. She let what she learned go to her head. And it caused her now to think of herself more than she ought to think of herself. She took power within her own self to try and rule situations and circumstances. And now she's not virtuous no more because she let Satan in. And deprived them of their labors. Now she cannot be fruitful. Whoso hearkeneth unto it shall never find rest and never dwell quietly. It's always confusion. The stroke of the whip make it marks in the flesh. So the things that are being said are very painful. The stroke of the tongue breaketh bones. Many have fallen by the edge of the sword. That means being put to death through fighting by sword, but not so many as have fallen by the tongue. So, in other words, women have destroyed more men than war. And if you think as a woman that you ain't next, stay at it and see, don't it bite the dust. All that have tried have truly failed. Oh my God, that's not true. It is true because the scripture said it's true. You keep fighting at home and see where you end up. How do you think our mothers end up single? In a lot of cases, not all cases. See, our people, they don't have the knowledge that you guys are learning. So they on these platforms scoffing. That's not true. That's not true. Why they by themselves? I'm strong. Where's the guy? She fought him. She fought him until she killed him. He couldn't take it no more. Hey guys, just y'all, I want y'all to be there. Just get back and listen and really humble yourself. Just put it into some thought. Don't quench the spirit by this stuff. You know it's, maybe you don't know it's right. Verse 19. So Sirach 28:19. Well is he that is defended from it. What is it to be defended from it? You don't go through it. And have not passed through the venom thereof. Who have not drawn the yoke thereof, nor have been bound by her bands. That means you go through it over and over and over and over. God, it's terrible. For the yoke thereof is the yoke of iron. It's like I can't get rid of it. I can't get away from it. Why can't he get rid of it and away from it? Other than that, the woman won't stop. Why can't he get? Why is it a yoke? He's married. It's his wife. He loves her. So now he's yoked. And the bands thereof are the bands of brass. You can't get out of it. The death thereof is an evil death. And the grave were better than it. So if he's not in the grave, then what is this death? His spirit is destroyed. Sisters, you can destroy a man. Hey, I say this out of love, brothers. Don't let somebody change you, and that's hard. Sisters, same thing. Don't let somebody change you. And that can be hard. A lot of people, they'll feel like you changed me. I used to be nice. I used to this and I used to that. Now you're not nice no more. No, I'm not being nice to you, Arnold. I ain't being nice no more. Beloved, whatever you got to do, stay strong. I know what you got to do. You got to help each other. That's right. You got to help each other. You got to reach down and try and save him and her. You got to reach down and you got to save them. Save him because you're yoked. You're there now, so you got to help each other. Unless you're going to be going against the scriptures. You go against the scriptures, then your reward is what you stuck your hand out there to. Right? I'm finna stop trying to read these comments. Are they getting paid for this? They think y'all paid actors. This TikTok is off the chain. Yeah, somebody. It's comical, man. Verse 22. Point. It shall not have rule over them that fear God. Neither shall that be burned with the flame thereof. Such as forsake the Lord shall fall into it, and it shall burn in them, and shall not be quenched. It shall be sent upon them as a lion, and devour them as a leopard. Look that thou hedge thy possession about with thorns, and bind up thy silver and gold, and weigh thy words in a balance, and make a door and bar for your mouth. So that this is talking about sisters, talking to sisters, because it's mentioned up, and we came on down from being biting and how women this, that, and the third. You've got to do as a woman, you have to protect yourself to know the bounds and to know the limitations. And you got to protect yourself so that nothing gets through. You got to keep yourself from yourself. That's what it says in 1 Samuel chapter, what's that, 22? You got to be able, you got to protect yourself. And when it says bind up the silver and the gold, those are all the choice words, stuff that you know is good to say. Good words. This word is silver. This word is pleasant. This word is peaceful. This word is gold. Oh, this he loved this. This put a smile on his face. False teaching. A false teaching. Oh man. It's false. For you to weigh your words in a balance and say something to put a smile on his face. They want easy eating them, NWA. Too short. And Snoopy Doggy. Snoopy Doggy. This is crazy. Hey. So, but in all seriousness, right? Verse 24, sisters, look at that. This saying, protect yourself. Look that thou hedge thy possession about with thorns. If you are a woman, you got to protect yourself. A thorn bush, nobody is trying to walk through a thorn bush. So it's not saying that it wants the husband not to be able to get through. What don't you want to get through? What is the enemy of the woman? Satan. From the beginning, Satan was the enemy of the woman. So protect yourself from that. And then bind up your silver and your gold. These are words that you must bind up. Okay? Words that you should be binding up. Words that you know work. Words that bring forth restoration, happiness, peace, joy, comfort, decompression, happiness, words that display healing and love, exhortation and confidence. These are words that you need to remember, ways and things. And as like a child, you know how a child, his vocabulary progresses? That's how, as a sister, when you're trying to do your job, your terminology and your tactics that you use should be progressing, getting greater and better to make the home, the house a home, the relationship a stronger marriage, a friendship, and all of those things. That's the part that you must play. The guy, because a lot of sisters might be like, what about him? What about him? Yeah, he's got to do the same thing. But at this point, we're exhorting you. They get exhortation when they get exhortated. You don't have to be like, well, what about him? Get off of us. I'm not on you. No, this ain't that. to where you getting got on, you getting came down on. Weigh your words in a balance. You see that? That's Sirach 28:25. Weigh your words in a balance. Don't you think that you should weigh your words in a balance? Because you have said something before that made things bad. You said something before that made things good. If you're married, you said something, the guy was turned on. He liked it. He embraced you. He held you. He grabbed your hand. He smiled. He was happy. He's like, oh, let's do this. Let's do that. That's because of something you did. So now what do you want? You want words that made him go out the door and go to his cousin's house, go to his friend's house, just go anywhere, but in this house. Yeah. Or do you want, to say the words and we're like, baby, come with me. Let's go. Where we going? I don't know. Going somewhere. Where you want to? I'll take you anywhere you want to go. You made him so happy. I'll take you anywhere you want to go. Because of the words that you used. Which one? How do you like it? You should like the words that call for peace. Okay? It says, and then make a door and a bar for your mouth, because every time you feel something, every emotion is not supposed to just come out. You don't want me to tell you how I feel? No. No. I mean, we do, right? But then the truth is we don't, because what you feel, you should be correcting it, and it shouldn't start confusion. Yeah, some sisters didn't like that. Okay. Let's flip it around. We feel some type of way. Sisters, we feel, as men, everybody on this side, we feel some type of way. Brothers, please say we feel some type of way. And you ain't got to say this, but we going to argue with y'all. We going to start a problem. We going to start a fight. We going to fight words. We going to say some stuff that's going to hurt the feelings. We going to be sarcastic. We going to say some too much, some unnecessary stuff. If you want us to do that because that's how we feel as a woman, please raise your hand. Come on, you got to be one. Please, I'm begging, raise your hand. Raise it. Let us be sarcastic. Let us say some off the wall stuff. Ambria, can I get a vote? That was a trick. She raised it. Ambria, don't nobody want that mess. She raised it. Ambria, don't nobody want that mess. They don't want that. They're like, dude, you don't have to do that. Because you know what? And then on top of that, something about a woman, man, hey man, a woman, she gonna run with it. She feels deeply. She gonna take what we said, how we feel, and she gonna add to it. You can't even take it back, even if you ask for it and clear it up. It's how she think it is. It's how she think it is. Yeah, you meant that. It's like this. Like, wait a minute. Did not I say get that back? Did not I say that's not how I think? That's not how I feel. So now that I got your attention, you don't want that. So then why is it if we say we don't want you to express how you feel, y'all don't understand that now? Because what y'all do is the same thing. It started a fight. Who wants to fight? You're supposed to think about how you feel, decompress it, and get rid of it. And if it's really and truly something that a conversation had to be said about it, weigh your words in the balance from all, and then bring forth the silver and the gold that you got bounded up. Okay, I got some gold to spend with you. I got some silver. I'm gonna spend some silver with you. So when you spend it, how should it sound? Let me get it from you because I know how it should sound because I know how I want it. See, how should it sound? The silver and the gold, Judah. They can't see my how should it sound, Judah? They listen. Pleasant. There you go. Okay, pleasant. So we know what our wives are capable of. So tell me now, you're gonna give a mock situation. She brought some silver to you. Gold is high. She's gonna spend some silver on it, spend some money on well thought out actions, and it's gonna still be pleasant. You know, plus gold is pouring on thick. You know, you might even get close. That's gold. But give me some silver. What you expect from her?
Communication.
You got to give me more than that. Communication, because she can communicate some feelings, and we don't want that. No. Because you want help?
Yeah.
So why you want to help him?
Let's say you pissed her off. Some silver would be hey babe, can we talk? You know, and I want to express something that happened, and I just want to speak with you about it, and I want to come on the same page with you, and I want to be right, and just let me tell you, and then let's make things right, and then we can move on. I guess you can say this like silver instead of snapping the neck. I don't like how you said that. You know, you see the difference is that I don't like how you said that.
Right.
Hey, can I run something by you? You know, I was feeling some kind of way about what you said, and I don't want to feel some kind of way. So let me bring it back to you so that we can work it out. That's silver.
All right, yeah, I take that. What y'all think? That's good. Instead of what is that? That's what's up.
Y'all said let's go to them.
And instead of now give me that. So y'all ain't said nothing.
Dude, I always want to throw me in something.
No, but I do want to ask something since he put my name.
Hold up. Now, hold up. So now give me an example of a woman in her emotions that we don't want. Because remember, I made this statement. Now we don't want you to say nothing. We don't want you to tell us how you feel. Give me an example of what we don't want. Because just because you feel it don't mean that you're supposed to take it out on us. All right. So somebody give me an example of that.
I'll give it to you. Because this is actually what I was going to say about Judah. So you're dealing with your wife, and, you know, she bring it to you. And when she bring it to you, it's like it may start off, you know, yo, you did this, I asked you not to do this, and you did it again. And then in the conversation, and this is something that as married men, I know y'all go through it, some come up that happened 3 months ago, and it's being used for an example of what's being spoke on today. And with using it as an example, it's fueling, right? It's fueling how they feel about what they're talking about now. So now you go to explain, yo, it wasn't like that. right? But because what happened 3 months ago is still present on the subconscious, they won't accept it wasn't like that. You meant that. And I'm tired of that. And you can stop that. And no matter what you say
Stop that.
It wasn't like that. You can't win them because of the fact that what's going on. They hold on to what? It's a question.
Okay.
They hold on to 3 months ago. Y'all just learned it.
I think that's kind of easy. I probably can deal with that.
Huh? Because 3 months ago it's showing what? It's showing growth.
Yeah. Okay. It's showing a grudge, but sometimes it get a little bit more hectic than that. You know what I'm saying? That's I can take 10 of them. 10 of them, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look here. Yeah. Liam, hold up for a second, y'all. Yeah. That just picking out the married guys, you know what I'm saying? So I did say Judah, then I say Yash, you know what I'm saying? So the water spoke now,
All right. So you're asking for a scenario where it's not civil.
Not civil.
Not civil. You're saying give something where it's not civil.
Yeah. Like, so for us to say that, because the women will be like, I can't tell you how I feel.
Right. So.
But how she feel, that's the reason why we don't want you to tell us, because it's just too much. It's above you trying to reason. This is a fight. You're looking for a fight. You're not looking to tell us how you feel. It's, you know what I'm saying, you're not looking for a solution. You're looking for a fight. I could just go on with it so we can move forward. It might come with name calling.
Right. It start off with 2 words. I'm offended. And when they say they offended, they got the neck roll with it. Who you think you are? You gonna just abuse your power in the scriptures? That's the fight. That's how it starts. That's somebody that ain't looking for a solution. They just in their emotions wanting to rant. And then when you ask, well, what did I do? You know what you did.
There is no control.
Like, wait a minute.
Like, you might try to control the situation. So this don't be like this. A man might try to control the situation, but if you jump out there in your feelings and you saying some stuff that ain't right, one of the first things that let him know that this ain't right is your tone. How you talking to him. Like, wait a second. You won't wait. He's trying to stop it off the gear out.
Stop.
Yeah, you can't be stopped. He's like, wait a second. Now listen. I'm gonna listen to you, but now come again. Just don't. That's disrespectful. Don't yell at me. You know what I'm saying? Don't be yanking and throwing stuff. Don't be doing this, that, and the third. Just stop, relax, and let me hear you out. So we'll do that. Let me hear what you're saying, but talk to me and not at me. Right?
Right.
When you can't control that, you can't even get past that. That we don't want to hear it now. We want order. We want you to talk and with respect. But see, a lot of times sisters don't think that we're listening if we're, trying to calm the situation down so that you can actually show the respect to us and show the grievance that you grieved with. You can still show your grievance. You can still expound the situation on how whatever you feeling is distasteful, but do it with some respect. Do it with some honor. Do it with some tone. Do it, reason with us to show us what you dislike and why you dislike it. But don't be rolling the head and calling names and using profanity and using run on. And no, you can't do that. You can't do that. So in those situations, if we cannot bridle the situation, bridle means control. Control means to stop you if you're wrong and say, okay, well, don't say that. Don't do that. Go ahead. Because women will feel like you're interrupting me in the midst of my speech, and see, you don't like for me to interrupt you in the midst of your speech. When I do it, you stop me, and now you're doing it. What are we trying to stop? We're trying to stop the confusion. The scriptures tell you not to give the water no passage. So we got to stop you if you going off like that. That's the stuff I'm saying, no, we don't want. But to let us know that you don't like something, that's not, we can't forbid that. That's the scriptures. You can tell us what you don't like, but you cannot disrespect us. As a woman, do not disrespect your man. Do not yell at him. He is not your child. Do not yell at him. Do not talk at him. Speak with him. And even though you hurt, express your hurt with the most gracefulest disposition that you possibly can, so that the man can see that you are affected. Don't do it in tone. Okay, don't do it in behavior. I'm gonna leave the house. Don't do it in threats. I'm gonna threaten you. Some sister, I'm gonna mess you up. What is this? Sister, you gonna kill him? You gonna mess him up? You gonna go to jail? Yes.
So I was gonna say, when you marry, when you marry, women really do want to be heard. You know what I'm saying? I know, women, y'all really want y'all husband to understand how y'all feel. But we won't accept it unless it's like this, according to scripture. It won't permeate or register to us unless it's through the spirit of the scriptures. As much as you want to be heard and if you want us to hear, Satan is going to use your disposition as a block to get that message clear to your husband for whatever he did, whatever he said, whatever it is that he not getting, he ain't gonna get it, and Satan don't want him to get it. He don't want him to ever understand why you feel the way you feel. So what he's gonna do, he's gonna make you come off, and I'm gonna use this precept, Ecclesiasticus 20 and verse 8. It says, "He that uses many words shall be abhorred, and he that taketh to himself authority therein shall be hated." So when you are talking to your husband, you gotta not make yourself equal at any time to give him a message on, I really want you to understand how I feel. Because if you do that, first off, he's gonna be like, she thinks she, neck and neck with you. And we know you want to be heard, the men that are married, we know that you want to be heard, but you're not going to hear it. It's going to be harder to receive. I say that it's going to be harder to receive if it's outside of the context in the way that we were designed to receive how you feel and to nurture you and to, so that's all I'm saying.
Okay. So let's get back. I think we understand both sides. All right. So we were at Ecclesiasticus chapter 28 and 25. So weigh those words in a balance and make a door. Don't open it. And a bar. So you got a door and a bar. You got that thing imprisoned. And it can't come out. Beware thou slide not by it. Meaning you don't open it up, right? Lest thou fall before him. So let's go back to the 36th chapter. Sirach chapter 36 and 22. A man loveth nothing better. Every woman wants to know what a man loves. That's the first thing that we love. Don't exploit your flesh. Like, love this, love that, love me, love this. Nope. All the women in the world that's carnal minded, they got it all wrong. That's why they do what is the booty shots, the BBL, Brazilian butt lift. They do that, being whoredoms. They abort their babies so that they can keep their body flat. The upper body, what's those called? Tummy tucks, that's the stomach. But what about the chest? Implants. They get that. Then they do all these facial things and stuff like that for their face. So they exploiting the flesh. They like, come out to my flesh. But that's not what a real man loves. What we're talking about, that's what a man loves. So if you don't have these things, you got a problem. You're going to find yourself using your flesh to get through life. And after you've been used up, you're going to be wondering, like, why this guy don't love me. A lot of sisters, they abuse themselves looking for love. If there be kindness and meekness and comfort in her tongue, her husband is not like other men. So make your husband not like other men. You don't take him through that. He that, this is, now we're cooking. He that getteth a wife, beginning a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillow of rest. So it was said that the wife, that the man is a possession. So thinking abstract, I'm looking at sisters, was trying to tell sisters to hold themselves accountable and look at the man. It's your husband. So if it's your husband, then you should care about him as a possession, not something as authority orientated, but a responsibility to where you're going to tend and care for him like he tends and he cares for you. So however it was that it was said, obviously it was misquoted because it was called in, I was misunderstood. The point that I was trying to reach is take in account that you're somebody's wife and that you have a job to do. It says, where no hedge is, the possession is spoiled. Do you want the man spoiled? Do you want the man to be out on the loose? It says, and he that have no wife will wander up and down mourning. Why would this guy not have a wife? Because things didn't work out. So as a woman, when you read verses 22 and 23, it's your job to be like this, to keep this man in perspective of what y'all's life, like it says in pt2, the grace of life, what you guys want and plan for yourselves. People are out here planning families. People are out here planning to be together, to get AIDS and grow together and accomplish things together and to be supportive one to another. So with that being said, as a woman, make sure that your possession or your husband, there it is again, make sure that your husband is not spoiled because you are not, by not putting into him the things that it takes to put into him, things that will help him survive throughout the journey of rain, sleet, storms, snow, hail, hard times, because it's the good times that sometimes get forgotten. In marriage, we have plenty of good times, but some of the hard times, they'll tend to stick around and be often and few if they are not healed. Okay? So, did you have something to add to that? Any questions? Yes, sir.
I got something, man.
Okay.
It's Ephesians 5 and 21 real quick.
Can you get it down for me?
So the way Christ, deal with the church is the same way that the husband wants to deal with his wife. Verse 21 says, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. So just like a wife is supposed to submit herself to her own husband, it's the same as she would do it unto the Lord. The same respect and reverence she would give Christ is the same respect and reverence she should give her husband. It says, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. When a woman is with a man, that man becomes the savior of that woman's body. She now have a hedge of protection around about her with her husband, just like Christ is the hedge of protection around the church, the body. It says, therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. So it always goes from the church to the husband to the wife, because the Most High is showing the order that He had put here, and just with the order with Christ Himself, being over the man, being over the body, but also the man being over the woman. So just the way Christ is over all is the way the woman is supposed to be subjected to her own husband. She's supposed to give him that authority, that authority. It says that he might sanctify meaning to separate. So when you become married, you become separate. It says that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. The way men wash their women is through teaching them. The man have a role of being that's supposed to be able to teach his woman. And because you join together, the washing of the word is going to be washing that woman clean. It's always going to be teaching her this, teaching her that, showing her this, showing her that. It says that he might present it to himself a glorious church. That's what the man is trying to do with his wife, is present it to be a glorious church unto himself, just like Christ is doing with the body, trying to present it glorious to himself. It says, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing. Those spots and wrinkles that a man see in his wife, those are the things he's trying to iron out. Those are the things that he's trying to wash out through his teachings at home. These are the things that makes a woman become glorious to her husband, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. And that's where a lot of women get confused when we're teaching, is that we're not teaching you or constructive criticizing you because we hate you. We doing this because we love you and we want to make you the perfect thing for us to walk in harmony, walk in joy with. It says, for no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourished it and cherished it, even as the Lord the church. So no man hated his own self. And that's talking about the woman. No man hated his woman. He wants to nourish it and cherish it just like he would do himself. And that's the same thing he would do with his wife. But for some reason, Satan being that the woman is the weaker vessel, Satan used that energy that we have towards our wives and just kind of make them feel like they're not wanted, make them feel that, they're not heard, and their emotions get the best of them. But it's, what I'm saying? So I don't want to keep rambling on, but you know what I'm saying? It's just, we love our wives, and that's why we there, with our wives and consistently teaching and teaching and teaching.
All right, so we're gonna start this now. Let's go back to Sirach 7. All right. So Sirach 7 and verse 2, it says, Depart from the unjust. So I'm gonna ask a question. You ready? Depart from the unjust, and iniquity shall turn away from thee. When you read that, what is the first precept that comes to mind? Bo?
Travel out with a boat, fella.
Okay, that's good. That's fine. You sure?
Honestly, be continually with God.
Being continually with a godly man. Well, okay. One more. Jabril?
Thinking like Acts 3:19.
Would you like to tell us what it says?
It says, repent ye therefore, be converted.
Okay, depart from the unjust. Okay. Go ahead.
Proverbs 1 and 10, it says, my son, if sinners entice thee, sin thou not.
Okay. So that's good. And last one, Yash?
Evil communications corrupt the man.
Right, that's the one I was looking for. So that was the one that was closest to. It says, depart from the unjust. A lot of times people, we want to know how to be better at things. We want to know how to, now, some cases requires this, and in other cases just require what? Get the answer from you. So if some people's issue, because the second part says iniquity shall turn away. So we have problems. We have problems. And if some of our problems is coming from evil communication, the other people, what's their problem? Mike? No. Stay with me. It's not. This doesn't involve other people. It doesn't involve. You said not correcting them. Okay. It says, "Do no evil." No, slack it. It says, "Depart from the unjust." So, and I asked us to kind of match that up. What scripture? What other scriptures does that sound like? Depart from the unjust. So we went through different precepts, but the one that was very close, that it's like, okay, let's use that one, was 1 Corinthians 15:33. Evil communication corrupt good manners. That's the reason why the Lord wants us to depart from the unjust. The second part says, and iniquity shall turn away from you. So a lot of times we got people wanting to know, how do I stop sinning? Well, then you'll have people that's in the midst of sin, battling and fighting, and they're like, I'm not communicating with evil people. So, okay, what do we tell them? How to get iniquity to turn away from them? Because there are a lot of people that say, I ain't with nobody, but yet you still in sin. Yeah, you still in sin. So what can we say to them? These are things you got to know. What can you say to somebody that's still struggling?
We can tell them stop looking at it and thinking about it, because evidently they're looking at something and it's reminding them, and they thinking about it too much also.
Okay. Anybody else? Go ahead. Whoever hand went up.
Tell them to be continually with a godly man.
Well, they are with godly people. There's somebody else. That's what they'll say. Yeah, that's so I'm just kind of. They are with godly people. Somebody else?
I'll say Ecclesiastes 7:5.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to do this over this. I'm looking for something and then it's play. Go ahead.
It's better to hear the wise, rebuke of the wise than the songs of fools.
They don't have a problem with hearing rebuke of the wise. There's some in particular. Listen to this.
If you believe in something, you got to be willing to make sacrifices for it. No compromises. Believe it. No.
So what is their problem? They're not sacrificing. Now go to the book of Romans, chapter 12.
Waking up to the truth, knowing who I am as an Israelite. Outside of you coming to serve the Lord, you got to prepare your soul for temptation. You're going to go through some trials and tribulations, but never give in. Stand on what you believe in. Romans 12 tells you to live a sacrifice. To show an example. Those that
So let's read this together. Romans chapter 12, verse 1 on 3. 1, 2, and 3. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. So, you have people that's not around other people still struggling. Whatever it is they're struggling with, they got to sacrifice it. So we can't call it out because we don't know what it is. But we told them to depart. And sin is going to turn away from them. Well, how is sin going to turn away? You got to sacrifice. You got to make sacrifices. Whatever it is you feeling, whatever it is you thinking, whatever it is you desire, might not be in the midst of someone else. Now go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 55.
Hey, what else person is, man? Show the word you believe. Take out, go.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 55, and verse 6. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way. So it might not involve nobody else, but it's his way. It's her way. And the unrighteous man, his thoughts. See, once again, might not be nobody else. Is there a private agenda or interpretation or will or way? Because if you don't, you know what's going to happen? You're going to stumble over it. Let me continue. It says, and let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy on him. So having mercy, right, Bo? Having mercy is now you being healed. Most High, the mercy of the Most High is healing you now. The mercy of the Most High is now helping you through the hard times that you was having. Okay, let's talk about this. So you stumbling over something, and the thing that you're stumbling over, you know what's right according to the scriptures, but in your mind, your way and your will, it keeps coming up, and it's stopping you from being fruitful. In Sirach 7:2, what is the unjust that you must depart from? Your way and your will. Your way and your will. That's what you got to depart from, because now you have come to a point to where you're like, I can't go no further. In your mind, Satan going to present you another option to where you're not serving the Lord. You're serving who? Yourself. You might become a servant of Satan. See? You cannot be self-motivated. You cannot be self-willed. Right? So now let me finish about the unrighteousness. It says, let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy on him. To our God, for he will abundantly pardon. In this situation, what is the Most High's pardoning in this situation? The fact that we had gave place to our way and our will. Why is he pardoning it then? Because we gave it up. That's right. We humbled ourselves and we gave it up. Okay. There's more. For my thoughts are not your thoughts. So how we think and how we go about things and how we feel about the path that the Most High put us on will be different than the thought of the Lord, because we're learning every day. We're learning what the will of the Lord is. We're learning Christ. We're learning to make sacrifices. And when you're learning to make sacrifices, as you move and learn and move forward in your life and you grow in Christ, you're going to learn that you're going to have to make more sacrifices. Not just the ones that you already have made, but you're going to have to make a different sacrifice. Let's see. Go to 1 Corinthians 15. First Corinthians chapter 15. In verse 31. It says, I protest by your rejoicing, which I have in Christ, our Lord. The part we need is right there. He said, I die daily. Why is he dying? He sacrificed daily so that the life in Christ can live. That's why. Go to Galatians chapter 2. In verse 18. It says, for if I build again the things which I destroyed. What did you destroy? What did we all destroy? That's selfishness. That's self-appointed righteousness. We're not to be like that. If I build again the things which I destroyed, I make myself a transgressor. Why? Because I return back into the old man and his ways. For I, through the law, am dead to the law, that I might live unto God. I am crucified with Christ. What does it mean to be crucified with Christ? Everything that I'm not supposed to be doing, I've destroyed with Christ, through Christ, in Christ. I've crucified it. Nevertheless, I live. So with doing so, with him saying that nevertheless I'm living, I live, he said I'm alive. I'm okay. Although you destroy the man that keeps popping up, this is what I want to do. This is how, you get people going straight depression because they can't have it their way. And they feel like they can't live. They feel like that they can't live. He said, I'm crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live. Yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. So if Christ is living in him, what is he saying? The way of Christ is living in him and not our own. Because if we let our way live in us, what are we going to do? Prostitute ourselves, whoremonger ourselves. We're going to do drugs. We're going to deal drugs. We're going to murder. We're going to rob. We're going to pilgrim to earth. We're going to do any and everything detestable to try and use it as an instrument of survival. We're going to be wicked. It's not just one thing. Many people think that, oh, if I just had it my way, this one way. Satan don't use one way. Satan used the legion to destroy you. You know what a legion is? 2,000 or more. That's why when people are the worst, it's nothing they won't do. They have no bounds. Nothing they won't do. A legion is many. I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live. Yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. I do not frustrate the grace of God. What does that mean? I do not frustrate the grace of God. Tim, okay. Taken for granted. What are we not taking for granted?
That will receive grace.
That will receive grace. It's more detail. What do we not take for granted?
That we have been given an opportunity to redeem the time.
That you have been, start with that you've been given an opportunity. What is grace?
Time.
So a time period.
Teaching moment.
Teaching that we've been taught. Okay, that we've been taught. So we're not going to just make light of the time. Oh, it's the time period. But it's the time that the Most High invested in us, right?
Yeah.
So if you frustrate that, you vex the Most High. So you don't frustrate the grace of God. He spent time teaching us. That time should not be for naught. And so now we'll come to a point in our life to where now we've got to sacrifice. Now we got to humble ourselves. And we need to humble ourselves and not feel like I can't go no further. I was cool until you asked this of me, Lord. I was cool until then. You have drew the line. You get antsy with the Most High. That's a problem there. Yeah. And you could tell you get antsy with the Most High about the spirit you're moving in when you're asked to sacrifice. And that behavior, and people will be like, Lord, don't take it personal, but you know how I feel. There's no other way that the Most High can take it. Because it's his command and his way that he's asking you to humble yourself to. And we put statues and limitations on our relationship with the Lord. Can't be like that. He's asking us to depart from that type of behavior because he's asking us to be the ultimate soldier. Christ said, endure hardness. And sometimes we will, on our path, run into a spot that appears to be hard. But we don't understand the purpose of that for us in life because we can't see the future. Hey, people before us, I want us to think about this. No matter how old you are or how young you are, there were people that were before us that had to endure some type of hardness to bring us into an existence. And if they hadn't, then this part of history, which is you, would have been eradicated, obliterated, and non-existence. But they persevered through whatever it is they had to go through. And now here you are, you sit here today, fighting your life, fighting for your life to survive and to be accepted of the Most High and to be accepted of other peers. So now in today's world, you are going to tread the same waters and likewise things that has been accomplished to our brothers and sisters in the world, to where someday in some way you're gonna approach a patch in your life that appears to be either slippery or may appear to be kind of hard to process and digest. What do you do to survive? You have to apply the will of the Most High, think about the Most High, and not think about yourself. Why think about the Most High, not yourself? Because you are getting paid the price of eternal life for walking in the will of the Most High. You get absolutely nothing for taking choice number 2. You do not get paid. You get absolutely nothing. Your reward is the choice that you may choose to try and see if you can bend the wheel and wait to have it your way. That's your reward there. That ain't no reward right there. Because remember the guy with the bones, before he could enjoy it, he said, I'm going to take ease and say, enjoy the fruit of the labors. The Lord said, whoop, your soul, you a fool. You made the wrong choice. Your soul is required. So I want you, brothers and sisters, to remember, for the kingdom of heaven, walk through fire, roll across glass, do whatever it takes. I know we're not put in the position to roll across glass, but that's a word, right? The point is, whatever that you humanly have to do, arm yourselves likewise so that you can resurrect from the dead. This is the most important thing in this to you. So since you've learned this, you have to be like, man, that's why I go so hard. It's like, man, you got one thing to do this unto death. And in doing so, you're going to be able to help everybody that's around you. You're going to be able to help everybody around you and work out your salvation. It's up to you whether you think it's cap or not. But it ain't no cap. Yeah. No, it ain't. It ain't no cap. All right. Let's see. So where were we? With Galatians chapter 2 and 21. I do not frustrate the grace of God. So the Most High, He brought you to this very moment for you to depart from the unjust. Come through. For if the righteousness came or come by the law, then Christ is dead. Christ is dead in vain. What does that mean? Meaning that there's not a law that you can read that'll bring forth the righteousness to you, but outside of the Christ. So you need the spirit of grace that has taught you, that brought you up into this point to where you got to sacrifice like you have sacrificed before. Each and every last one of us has made it to a level to where we know how to sacrifice. We know how to put aside ungodliness and worldly lust. We know how to sacrifice. We know how to let the world go and choose the Most High. So now we're in a situation again to where now, okay, let me choose the Most High. And that's the dead. That's what that's going into. Okay. Because we receive truth, mercy, and grace through the Christ. All right. So let's lose that. And let's go back to Book of Luke, Isaiah 55. Sirach 7. Sirach 7 and 2. Depart from the unjust, and iniquity shall turn away from thee. That easy. Depart from the unjust, whether it's some unjust people or it's some unjust thinking, and your sin's gonna leave. All right, go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 12. In verse 12,
That one thing you gotta sacrifice. 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 Yeah. You gotta sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice.
Hebrews 12 and 12, it says, so if it's you and your own mind that you struggling fighting with, and you're trying to get that to leave you, and you trying to make peace with it, Sirach 12 and 12, it says, wherefore lift up the hands which hang down. So that's called praying. And the feeble knees. So how you going to lift your knees up? It's going to tell you, it's going into you walking now. Okay? It's telling you to walk. Right? But then it says, and make straight paths for your feet. What is the straight path? Now, I guess we needed it. Now hold this and go back to Isaiah 55. And let's see what the straight path is. Isaiah chapter 55.
Sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice. I ain't Christ the King, yes, forever. Hold my head down, never heard of a feather. We knocking together. Me and my brother, we ride for each other, never allow each other. One time ready to die for each other. You don't believe me? No.
Verse 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways. So in Hebrews 12 and 13, and it says, make straight paths for your feet. When you look at Isaiah 55 pertaining to the thoughts, what is the Lord saying? What are you going to change about yourself? He said, my thoughts are not your thoughts. What is the Lord saying? To straighten out. Your thoughts. Your thoughts. Because how you're thinking and the way that you're thinking, he said, that's not my will. That's not my way. Those are your thoughts. You're thinking that. And a lot of times we'll be thinking that we're right because we feel some type of way. The Most High, he says, no. Then it says, my ways, your ways, because if you have it your way, you would have it your way. And your way is not his will. So you have to straighten that out. You have to make a straight path to his thought and his way. Then it says, for as the heavens are higher than the earth, think about the difference. You see how far up the sky, it's like we're in space, man. There's no distance that can be humanly measured from here through outer space, from earth. So are my ways higher than your ways. What's another word for higher? Different. So our expectation on what we are trying to process what the Most High would want from us in life will be completely different. We're looking for comfort zone. The Most High is looking as a nation. He's looking to make you an example. And we'd be like, I don't want to be an example. I want to be comfortable. Hey. Was Christ comfort? Was he comfortable? No, man. When you read about the life that he went through, he literally walked a life that the Most High wanted him to walk and live. Hold this and let's see. I think it's 1 Corinthians 6 and 19. First Corinthians 6 and 19. It says, what? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you? So if your body is the temple of the Most High, pay attention, which ye have of God. So who gave you the body that you got? The Lord. And ye are not your own. So if you are not your own, what are we doing making decisions and choices outside of the will of the Lord? Frustrating them. It ain't supposed to be like that. When you figure this out, once the Most High, so let me say it like this. You're an individual that you still a child of God, the Most High predestinate, you still here. But you're going to do a lot of things through ignorance. All right? You're going to do we did a lot of things through ignorance. So remember Ezekiel 37, the valley of the dead? We were dead. We were without Christ. We were dead. And so once the Most High made you aware who we were and what we supposed to be doing and how we supposed to respond and how we supposed to live, now we're held responsible to remember the calling that the Most High called us and that he reminded us that he's inside of us. He's been there the whole time. We didn't know it, but now we know it. So in knowing it, how are we supposed to behave and carry ourselves? We're supposed to behave and carry ourselves and be responsive, meaning respond unto our God that lives in our temple, the body that he gave us. All right. So now it continues. It says, you don't have it of yourself, ye are not of your own, for ye are bought with a price. Meaning, what is the price? Christ. Yeah. So Christ in the past, but every brother that poured into you, who put their lives aside and made the sacrifice, now they're giving that to you freely. That cost them something. They didn't just get it because a snap of a finger and now it made them smart, it made them wise. No, it took a lot of pain and suffering in real life moments, minutes, and days, and hours, and weeks. They spent time, years and years, being in subjection and torment and torture of sacrificing. Sacrificing is heavy, man. That's a death. Paul said, I die daily. Do you not truly understand what it go through to withhold yourself? Yeah, it's a lot. And then we pour into one another freely. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which is his. So when it comes to a point to where we have got to separate ourselves from something that's not right, we can't hold on. I'm going to stand on business. There are people that do that in ignorance, but that's not us. And when you see somebody doing that in ignorance, what are you supposed to do to them? Supposed to correct them? What else? What do you do to them when you see somebody doing that in ignorance? You don't think evil of them. Okay, correct. Oh, that's right. Correct them, show them the scriptures, this, that, and the third. All that so far has been right. But you don't think evil of them. Just like you don't want to be thought evil of in your time of what? Trial and temptation. In the times like now, where the Spirit is telling you that you got to sacrifice and you got to leave your unjust ways and your unjust thoughts. You got to put that away. You got to put that down. You got to rethink it. And you have an opportunity to get yourself right. Absolutely. Because the Lord is expecting you to do that. He's not expecting you to stand on you. You're going to lean to your understanding. No, that's Corinthians 9. What is saying Corinthians 9? Go get it. Corinthians 9 and 17. First Corinthians 9:17, for if I do this willingly, I have a reward. You go to the next level of the gospel. The Bible says, blessed is a man that endured temptation. How do you make that happen? You make that happen by doing it willingly and applying the scriptures. You want to know how the smart get smart, how the wise became wise. It's easy to look at somebody and say, they're wise, they're smart, they're understanding, they're great. Christ said, he that do and teach men so shall be called great. It's easy to look at somebody and call them a great brother or a great sister, not really realizing that they had to sacrifice to become that greatness, to get there. You looking at people that have sacrificed. They suffered the pain, the affliction, the persecution, the tribulation. They endured the hard things that came with making a sacrifice. But when it's your time, what do? You might fold or say, I can't do that. That's not how you become great. That's not how you grow. That's not the grace of life. And that's not a blessing to depart from the situation that the Most High placed before you. Okay? So For if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will, so now if you even made to do it, most of the time you're going to just end up not doing it because you already feel that you're being played. Then you got the spirit of Satan that will come in and take away the good things that are sown in your heart that's trying to exhort you to be and do the right thing so that you can get right, so that you could go right back to your will. And now you're doing this thing against your will. It says a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me. The Most High doesn't even want you to do it now. He don't even want you to do it now. What is my reward then? Nothing. Verily, that when I preach the gospel, I make the gospel of Christ without charge, that I abuse not my power. For though I be free, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to go into the rest of it. The thing is, guys, you don't want to do anything against your will because sooner or later it's going to go from against your will to not at all. You guys got to understand that. Don't ever face something that you don't try to fight off. And when you do face something that you got to humble yourself to, that's when you search the scriptures. Let's get that in the scriptures. Go to the book of Romans, I think it's 7. Romans chapter 7. I'm going to start verse 19. Romans 7:19. In 7:19, the good is you going to humble yourself to the will of the Most High. That's the good. For the good that I would, I do not. But the evil, which I would not, meaning I'm not supposed to do, that I do. So in this, you find yourself not humbling yourself. Now, if I do that, I would not. If I find myself not humbling myself, it is no more I that do it, but what? But sin that dwelleth in me. So if you're not humbling yourself, how you going to say that's not Satan? Verse 21, I didn't find a law. So then I find the scriptures to help me. So you got to find the scriptures to help you, to help humble you, to help you see the will of the Most High in the situation that you got to deal with. That when I would do good, meaning I'm trying to do good, evil is present with me. You don't just leave evil present with you without precepts and laws, statutes, and commandments and the judgment of the Most High to help defend you. Because if you are by yourself and self-will and you don't have the word of the Most High to dwell richly in you, what you think gonna win and what you think gonna lose? The spirit that's after Christ is going to lose, even though you want to do the right thing. You have nothing to help you. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man. That's supposed to keep you floating, guys. Let's go back to Hebrews 12. Hebrews 12. In verse 13. And make straight paths for your feet. Change the way that you think, and we agreed on that, right? All right. Lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed. Meaning, let your mind be changed. Follow peace with all men. That part, follow peace with all men. How do we tie this in? Corin, stay in the scriptures, not abstract. It has to make sense. Make it make sense. Follow peace with all men. Bring it all together.
Keeping your mind toward the Lord and
Okay, Mike, follow peace with all men. Put this all together. You sure? Who knows? Who can put this? Who can put it all together? Follow peace with all men.
Dealing with people, lean not to your own understanding. Find precepts and find scriptures and how to deal with people, to interact and to deal with people according to the scriptures.
Okay. Not quite. I'm looking for something a little bit more closer. So remember, it says, make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but rather let it be healed. Just talking about now you're on the path and you gotta make a straight path. And now it's instructing you to follow. So you got to put those two together. Follow peace. What is the peace of all the other men? Because it ain't peaceful in your head. What's in the head of everybody else? Judah?
That they made
They made their path straight. That's fine. Their path wasn't crooked. They already good. They understand. So what is that telling you to do? It's telling you to humble yourself. How? It's telling you to think like they think. It's giving you direction. It's asking you to follow. Follow peace with all men. They already on this path. So that's what you should be following. Follow peace with all men and holiness. All right? Who don't understand? You got some people that are not, whose paths are not crooked. The scripture in 14 is telling you to follow them. Follow peace. The peace is what they're on. Follow what they're on. Because are we not supposed to feed off each other and learn from each other? Remember, I don't know if Judah quoted it. No, Judah quoted something else in Ephesians. But Ephesians 4 talks about joint supplying and et cetera, et cetera. Okay? So, if you're having a problem and you follow brothers that are not having a problem, you are most likely to be successful, and they are going to teach you his ways. They're going to teach you how to be receptive and acceptive of the holiness that's within them. Okay? Then it says, without which no man shall see the Lord. So in verse 13, if we're not healed, how are we going to see the Most High? How are we going to see the Lord? Verse 15. Any questions before I move on? All right. It says, looking diligently. It didn't stop. lest any man fail. It says the preacher says far from the grace of God. So if you don't get in and they help you and your path is still crooked and no one helps you, you are most likely going to fall and not be able to recover. But it says, look diligently, lest any man fall or fail of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you. What is the root of bitterness that may trouble this person in the analogy that we're using? What is that root of bitterness that's troubling them? Okay, the old man, the thing that they trying to sacrifice, they can't let it go. You'll get people that can't let it go. They cannot recover it. They trying, but they also found the thing that they not supposed to do present with them. They trying, they can't get through it. They can't let it go. They can't let it. They just won't let it go. Now it's trouble. If you skip verse 14, and if you take verse 14 out of their life, you just took their help away from them, because they were supposed to follow the faith that everybody else has to help support them and comfort them to say, hey, brother, it's all right to do this. It's okay to do this. I'll give you an example. When it comes to let's see, working hard. Hands all beat up and bloody and cut up. This hand cut, this thumb cut, the same thumb cut. I was like, damn, man, I'm gonna cut my fingers off. This hand all knuckles all busted up. A year ago, I'm working with Judah. Took a grinder, it grounded halfway into my palm. Right, Judah? 3/8 inch thick blade, about that thick. When I say cut it into like a peach, halfway in. If you look at the thickness of your hand, I'll go halfway in. That thing grabbed me and went clean into it. Gore. I've been cut so many times and hurt. So the thing is, I have to persuade brothers to work hard. If you lazy, I ain't the guy that's gonna understand sloth, laziness. And that ain't me. So I might have you, I'm gonna teach you how to provide, how to go out and get it. I'm gonna talk to you about saving so that you can get what you want. I'm gonna lay the blueprint out. I'm gonna talk to you and talk to you and talk to you and talk to you. I'm gonna exhort you and encourage you. Now, without that conversation of talking to you, you can fail from the grace of God. The grace of the Most High is for you to be fruitful and multiply. The grace of the Most High is for you to end up in life with a help me like unto you. The grace of the Most High is for young women to marry and bear children and guide the house and give none reproach. But at the same time, you got to be told that you got to get out there and get it. Because some brothers, they won't. get out there and get it. They're going to wait for somebody to call and beg them. Yo, Levi, you going to come to work today? Yo, Levi, yeah, I got this job. I'm going to bring somebody by you. They're going to hump and pick you up. It don't work like that, man. You got to go get it. If nobody encourages you to do the right thing, when you fall, when you don't have success, who gonna feel bitter? The person that encouraged you or you yourself? You gonna feel bitter. You gonna feel like a failure. You can feel discouraged. You gonna feel like you can't do it. It says, and thereby many be defiled. So don't allow, you cannot get rid of verse 14 from our scenarios where you got to make a straight path for your feet to avoid falling from the grace of the Lord. The encouragement in verse 14, you need that exhortation. All right? You need that exhortation. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person. Profane is wicked. You're just a wicked individual. As Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. What does that represent? A person that don't give a dang. You gonna give up the salvation for who is that simple? You gonna give up the salvation for sin? Nah, we don't give up the salvation for sin, man. As Esau, who gave up his birthright for a piece of meat. So if somebody telling you, you don't give it up for self-will. If somebody is encouraging you to keep the faith and walk in the spirit and make the sacrifice and do the right thing, that is compared to one morsel, that sacrifice. We must do it. Any questions? Sirach 7, go back. Do anybody have those notepads that we got from the deaconess? Anybody have one of those?
Not at the moment. I think I got something for you.
I see Kasad digging for one. Maybe she got one. Sirach 7 and 2. Depart from the unjust. What do we try to do? Cover different scenarios of being unjust. All right. Then it says, and iniquity shall turn from thee, and sin shall turn from thee. Now go to the 21st chapter. So Sirach 21:1, it says, because we're trying to get sin to turn from it. It says, my son, hast thou sinned? The next part says, do so no more. So if we want our sins to diminish, we want them to go away, we've got to be able to acknowledge our fault, our flaw, and not do them again. But then it says, ask pardon for thy former sins. So in our prayer unto the Most High, to ask pardon of our prayer of our former sins, we'll be asking the Lord to forgive us for leaning to our own understanding, or being in the midst of those people that had caused us to sin and go astray, that created some weakness and lamenesses about us. Do we understand that? So we, through prayer, we ask the Most High for forgiveness and pardon for our behavior and our mental state, and not walk in the strength of our ways, because that's
Psalms 38. So Psalms 38. Also to get your sins to depart and leave. This goes with that too. So it's Psalms 38:17. It says, "For I am ready to hope." So as you examine and you look at the sins and you acknowledging them, you got to actually be ready to stop. Because if you're not ready to stop sinning, you're not. You're going to keep making excuse. You're going to keep making provision. You're going to find a way to fulfill that thing. So it says, "For I'm ready to halt, and my sorrow is continually before me." So what would the sorrow be?
Being upset that you commit the sin.
I can't hear you. So how about the effect that the sin had on somebody else? See, a lot of times when we sin, you never think that this has impacted somebody. It hurt somebody. It caused damage. It didn't. When we sin, we don't just feel it by ourselves. It doesn't just affect us. So the feeling that you caused or brought on somebody else by what you did, it's supposed to continually be before you. It's supposed to be there almost like haunting you. And as it's haunting you, what is it causing? You trying to get away from that feeling, right? So then trying to get away from that feeling, what are you not going to do? You're not going to do it again. Because that sorrow was there and you trying to get away from it, it's going to drive you to never do it again. Right? And then it says, "For I will declare mine iniquity." One of the major things about departing from sin is you got to call it out. If you never call it out, you're never going to change. And you can't it can't only be called out from who? Somebody else. You got to be able to see it and identify. If you don't identify your sin, you're going to continue to be deceived by it. It's going to continue to get you. It's going to continue to win. It's going to continue to find the angle to get you sinning and then bring somebody else to say it to you. To where you should be able to see it before it happened and be like, I ain't doing that. Not today, Satan. You're not going to get me. And then it says, I will be sorry for my sin? Uh, what example is there of somebody that was sorry for their sin? We read it all the time.
The sister
Mary Magdalene. She hunted, man, to Christ. She wouldn't have found him. And she was broken, man. How many of us really be broken when we sin? Or when somebody called out, you feel like they got you messed up. They don't see it right. They got you wrong. It really wasn't that bad. If you're not broken by the thing that you did, man, it's going to keep happening. And with her being broken, did she ever return back to it? So that's how you get that sin. Another way to help you get that sin off you got to be sorry for it. It can't just be, man, get off my back. You want somebody to stop saying something to you. You want them to give you a break. Why don't you be patient with me? You ain't being patient. Give me some time to get it together. Mary didn't do that. She was so broken by how she looked and the effect that her sin caused the work. That's what caused her to really depart from it. So, if you really want to depart, add these things along with the sacrifice. So,
Right. All right. So let's go back to the 7th chapter and read verse 3. It says, "My son, so not upon the furrows of unrighteousness, and thou shalt not reap them sevenfold." It seems pretty simple and cut and dry until you understand what a furrow is. So let's all imagine we got some land, and from one end of the acre to the other end of the acre, we got this tractor that's digging a trench. It's digging a trench and it's making like a little hump. And then, so the hump or the trench is the furrow. So you dig it, you dig rows and rows and rows of furrows. So typically you're supposed to plant food in there. Beans, rice, corn, and potatoes, and all different type of squashes and vegetables. But instead, this is the similitude that the Lord is using to show all the things negative that we're sowing. Anger, malice. The opposite of go to Corinthians 13, the opposite of this. Go to 1 Corinthians 13. Okay, 1 Corinthians 13. And 4. So where it says charity suffereth long, you're not suffering at all. You're impatient. And so the next one, so if you sowing on your land the spirit of impatience, you're gonna reap sevenfold. People are going to respond and act towards you without patience. And the Lord will allow you to feel it. So tell me some ways that people would actually feel the effect that they have sowed towards other people. When it comes to you're not being suffered long. You gotta hurt them. They gotta feel it. Give me some ways. I'm asking the right way.
Avoidance.
Who?
Avoidance.
Avoidance. People avoid you. Okay. Ain't gonna discount it. Avoidance. What else?
Negative attitude.
Somebody else? Nobody? You guys don't know how to imagine the sufferings of your people? Now they don't have no patience. They wasn't patient. They wasn't long suffering others. Now in life they get no patience. Somebody got to deal with them.
A hard time at work.
There you go. A hard time at work. You late, you get rolled up. Yeah. You reaping it sevenfold. That's 2. Give me 5 more. See? You gonna bring it to life. Come on, guys.
You get pulled over. You get a ticket.
You get pulled over, you get a ticket. There the cop.
You don't want to hear it.
He don't want to hear it. You was 10 miles over. Now, he could have let you slid. But no. No mercy. 4 more.
Spoke too harshly.
Spoke too harshly. You get talked recklessly too. Straight disrespected. How many now? 3? What else? Somebody else. And plus, I didn't even hear you. Somebody else that didn't speak. Make them feel it.
You lose your job, no more money.
You lose your job, you get fired. Okay. First time you was late, you rolled up. The second time, love don't live here anymore. You get fired. And you might not even really realize that all of the Most High allowed all this stuff to happen to you because you sold the Pharaoh. Yeah. Mary and HR know she could have listened to my explanation. No, she ain't even listen. she took it out on you. She had a bad day. The Lord didn't turn her heart today. Because you don't turn your heart the other day. You sold it and now it grew. Don't eat it. Eat it how you like it. 2 more. Come on, guys. I know you can think.
Just catching a lot of disrespect.
Somebody already said that. Come on, guys. Edify. Think.
Somebody hit your car overnight and they ain't have insurance, and you ain't have insurance either. So now you just without a whip.
Did they break the axle?
Man, they broke everything.
Okay. You lost your car
That's a cross. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. How do we tie that into the suffering? Long suffering, suffer long, and you gotta be patient with other people and suffer long.
I can get mad.
I'm saying how we tie the core into it.
Right, you do the job, you do the court.
Okay, one more. A novel. I forgot he was all up here. I'm gonna call him the rest of the day.
Tell me, woman, listen.
Yeah, she listening.
I was gonna say before you brought the car situation that once you lose your job, then you won't call in the late when you go to court.
They come get the car.
Yeah.
You wasn't suffering with somebody. All that out, man. Maybe they took the whip. Oh, where this dude go? He in his bag. He texting from the toilet. Come on, man. Go on, finish boo booing and come on back out. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm just seeing. Y'all know I play all day. Yeah, he went to get some Kool-Aid. Something like that to wake you. Wake up, Jan. Somebody said lose the house. So it's the opposite. So right there, you ain't gonna suffer. You ain't gonna suffer long. The car people ain't gonna suffer long with you. You ain't gonna suffer long. The house people ain't gonna suffer long with you. They say nope. You gotta go. See? And it's kind. So if you ain't gonna be kind, everywhere you turn, kindness ain't gonna be nowhere. Ain't nobody gonna be kind to you, man. And the list goes on and on and on. Go to Mark 7. Almost there, guys. We finna shut it on down. Mark 7:20, and he said that which coming out of a man, that defileth a man. So if you sow upon the Pharaohs, meaning those rows, you got the wicked garden. Of unrighteousness. You're going to reap from sevenfold. 21, from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts. So if you are somebody that's evil thinking about people, you got people even evil thinking about you on multiple levels. There's no way that you could think evil about somebody and the Most High don't turn people against you. A lot of times we be wondering like why we can't have our way, or why things don't be good with people. This is why. People don't think of you with a good heart because you don't think of other people with a good heart. You mistreat people and you get people mistreating you. You are not nice and people are not nice to you. Is it because of the people? No, it's because of you. Then it says adulteries. How do we tie this in? If your thoughts is about adulteries, what you think life gonna be like for you. It ain't gonna be righteous and upstanding. What's gonna happen? If you're a person that's committing adulteries, what is a person that commit adultery? They leave a relationship. They leave it, right? What you think gonna happen when you, every time you try to get right? You try to make it a righteous marriage, what do you think gonna happen? They're gonna leave you. It's gonna happen over and over and over. You ain't gonna never be able to get yourself grounded and right and settled, because that's what you doing. Sevenfold. Fornications, same thing, over and over and over. Now, does fornication feel good? I'm not talking about the physical act that where people, enjoy the lustful part of it. Does it feel good? The answer is no. Why don't it feel good? The answer that you give me, it must not have anything to do with the physical act. Please explain to me, why don't fornication feel good? Go ahead, Al.
Because it's the lack of connection that you have.
Okay, great. The lack of connection that you have with the person. Expound. It's a beautiful answer.
Well, I guess I can say if I
Bring it to life.
Yeah.
A lot of times, listen, stop. Don't mean to cut you short. Preach your path. Sometimes you might have to tell on yourself a little bit. Tell this girl. Right? So wait. I'm telling you the truth, being comical with it too, right? Be original, be authentic, right? If you want to be edifying, it has to be from experience.
Right.
There you go. Now tell it. Tell the tale, Rev. Hey, wait a minute. What movie was that, David? Don't tell the tale, Rev. What's that Dead Presidents? Yeah. Oh, y'all should go. I'm wait, when they tell the tale, Rev.
I don't remember what movie. It might have been Dead President.
I'm sorry. You sure? It's all yours.
I was just gonna say, I do remember some time ago, it's like I was just saying, I don't mind exposing myself to I would say with the fornication thing, it's like if a person is constantly out there, going after that fictitious connection. Crap.
You on to it. You try and clean it up. That's okay, baby. We all been there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, so if a person out there looking for that fictitious connection, it's like,
It hurts, right?
yeah.
Okay, my brother. I'm gonna be sensitive to the cause.
Right, I had everything I was gonna say, but
Yeah. It's kind of hard. So you like somebody, right? It's in the midst of fornication. Y'all just, the other part that I said we ain't gonna talk about, that's there, and you might take them serious, right? But they don't take you as serious. That hurts. Now go through it times 7 over and over and over and over again. That's devastating to the mind. Because you were sowing the furrows of it. Not really remembering that sometimes we might have been physically using somebody for the physical state. And on the other end, how they feel about us. They want it, no. They all in, right? They want to take you, they trying to take you serious. But you ain't taking them serious. You just, Just using them as for that friendship, right? And now you trying to take somebody serious. And they ain't even looking at you like that. You might have a heart of gold. And you and your feelings talking about good